Hi doctors, my name is Dr. Lama and the topic today is carbohydrates. The carbohydrates is a large biological molecule or macromolecule consisting only of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen.
All carbohydrates are built from molecular monomers or subunits called sugars that contain only carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen atoms. The typical sugar has a backbone of 3 to 7 carbon atoms. Most of these carbon atoms have a hydrogen group and a hydroxyl group attached to them. Thus, the general formula for sugars is CH2ON, where N is the number of carbons in the backbone.
Application in medicine. The carbohydrates, saccharides, are divided in 4 chemical groupings: monosaccharide, disaccharide, polysaccharides,
From this
and
formula,
polysaccharides.
that carbohydrates derive their name, which literally means carbon and water. When dissolved in a watery environment such as the cytoplasm of a cell, the carbon backbone of a sugar usually circles up into a ring. It is in this ring form that sugars are linked together by dehydration reactions to make larger carbohydrate molecules. Carbohydrates fall into one of 3 categories, depending on the number of sugars they contain.
Polysaccharides
Carbohydrates,
the
such as
source
glucose
of
or
energy
fructose,
and as a
that
structural
consist of a single
component
sugar
in
monomer,
plants,
are called
solid in plants, and cheating in arthropods.
sucrose, lactose, and other carbohydrates that contain 2 sugar monomers are called disaccharides. Starch, glycogen, cellulose, and other carbohydrates made out of long chains of sugars are called polysaccharides. Glucose is the most common monosaccharide and one of the most abundant sources of chemical energy in the living world. Glucose is the sugar found in the highest concentration in the blood of animals, and our own central nervous systems are critically dependent on glucose for energy. But glucose molecules are
Starch. Starch as a milling is a carbohydrate consisting
of starch, which is
of a
usually
large
referred to
number
as a
of
complex
glucose units
carbohydrate.
joined by glucosic
Now, starch
block
is
bonds.
the primary
This polysaccharide
storage
is
mechanism
produced
that
by most
plants
green
use
plants
to
as an
store
energy store.
energy. So
It
it's
is
kind
the
of the
most
plant's
common
way of
carbohydrate
storing
in human diet.
glucose. And it's important to note that starch molecules is just a chain of glucose molecules all strung together. So you have the simple carbohydrate, the glucose, that's strung together to create the complex carbohydrate, starch. The main starches are wheat, rice, corn, and potatoes, and any foods that are made from those. So your bread, pasta, corn chips, cakes, cereals, donuts, etc.
Classification. The classification is in glucose, lactose, fructose, and sucrose.
So we've got 4 basic sugars: glucose, lactose, fructose, and sucrose. These are called the simple carbohydrates. The first type of sugar is glucose, and this is the main sugar that the cells in our body use for energy. Glucose is found naturally in fruits and vegetables. The next sugar is lactose, and that's the sugar that you find in milk products. Now, we aren't going to be examining lactose in this particular video, but we will address it more in the future. Fructose is
Glucose. The glucose
is the easiest sugar for your body to use. When you ingest something containing glucose, it goes into your stomach and then your small intestine, where it immediately is absorbed into your bloodstream. Your blood then takes that glucose around to all the cells in your body so that it can be used for energy, and any excess glucose can be stored as fat.
Some pros is help build more defined muscle mass, provide you with sufficient amount of energy,
And
regulate
we
your
call this
cholesterol,
energy
eating
ATP.
complex
Now, I'm not going to
carbohydrates
get into the
make
whole
you
Krebs
feel
cycle and all
fuller.
of that technical stuff. But with ATP, this is like one blast, one molecule of energy, of just pure raw energy. So, for example, for me to be able to do just this one moment, there's all these muscles. Within these muscles are hundreds of fibers. These are long sort of strands of fibers. And in each one of those fibers, there's tiny, tiny little microscopic sections in each one of those fibers.
And some cons is the have tendency to make you sleepy, cause your glucose level in the blood to rise, increase of risk
That's in the blood.
type 2 diabetes,
What we call
provide you with a quick
glucose
burst
or
of energy.
glycogen. And that glycogen is stored in the liver and it's stored in the muscle. But the problem is that we only store about 1,000 calories in the liver and in the muscle. So 1,000 calories, when it comes to the entire weight of the body, really isn't much. When you think of 1 pound of fat is about 3,500 calories.
It should apply in Ecuador. The glycemic index provides a measure of how quickly blood sugar level rise after eating a particular type of food. It estimates how much each gram
the metabolic pathway is
of
a lot
available
faster,
carbohydrate
and
in
you're
a
going to
food
be a lot
raises
more likely
a
to
person's
spike
blood
your blood
glucose
sugar
level.
when you consume them.
Following consumption
So if you're eating
of
a
the
lot
food
of super
relative to
starchy
consumption of
foods
pure
like popcorn, corn
glucose,
chips,
glucose has a
potato
glycemic
chips, French
index
fries,
of
pasta,
100.
white bread, you need to realize that these are basically pure sugar. And that's the main thing I want to drive home in this video, is that starches are sugar. And we all know that we should avoid sweets and
Thank you.